How many of you guys remember this?
So you think that young people have now got the prospect of never owning a home?
Absolutely, when you're spending $40 a day on smashed avocado and coffees and not working. Of course.
So that video clip is several years old now at this point, but for anybody who hasn't seen it as of yet, for anyone who may be unfamiliar with it, essentially that douchey billionaire guy went onto the Australian 60 Minutes and said that the reason that young people, and in particular the reason that millennials can't afford to buy homes is because, drumroll, we buy too many lattes. And so, as somebody who is a millennial and a homeowner, and as someone who enjoys a fancy coffee here and there, I figured I would weigh in with my 2 cents and get into the nitty-gritty and break down whether or not there's any truth to that idea, whether or not there's any truth to the idea that buying lattes and avocado toast, or as he calls it, smoshed avocado. I'll never do that accent again, I promise. But to find out if that's the reason why we're all broke. So the fact of the matter is that over the last 20 to 30 years, the cost of living and the price of houses in particular has gone up exponentially. In particular, where I live here in Ontario, Canada, the average cost of a regular suburban home has gone up about 6 times in the last 25 or so years. And there's a certain degree to which that's normal. That's called inflation. The cost of everything goes up over time. Your grandparents probably spent like 2 pennies on a loaf of bread, and now a loaf of bread's like $3. That happens. The problem here is that wages haven't kept pace. So in that same amount of time that our housing here in this part of the world has gone up 6 times, the minimum wage has less than doubled. In 1992, the minimum wage here in Ontario was $8 and change, and today in 2021, it's $14. So it hasn't even doubled. Meanwhile, the cost of everything else has gone up 5, 6, 10, 20 times. And it's not just about minimum wage workers, because to some extent, everybody's income, everybody's salary is somewhat tied to the minimum wage in the area that they live. The minimum wage was specifically designed to be the minimum amount of money that somebody needs to earn working a 40-hour week to be able to afford themselves a mediocre, dignified life. And unfortunately, that's just not the case anymore. Even rent has gone insane, with the average price of a 1-bedroom apartment in the Greater Toronto Area being well above $2,000 a month. Things are just not affordable for the average person anymore. And so knowing that you have to live somewhere, most people will wind up renting an apartment of some sort before they buy a house. But how do you save up a down payment while you're already spending $2,000 or $3,000 a month for rent? And so to circle back to the point that Mr. Douchey Australian guy was trying to make,
$900 he does to buy us!
The question now is, does an extra $4, $5, $6 a day on a coffee actually make a difference in the grand scheme of your savings? If you already are paying way too much for rent and unable to save enough money for a down payment, is an extra $5 a day going to change your life? And is it worth you sacrificing the small pleasures in life, the things that bring you happiness on a day-to-day basis, in order to try to inch yourself this much closer to a goal that's so far away to begin with? So let's grab the calculator here and do a little bit of math. So if you're spending $5 a day on coffee times 365 days a year, that will bring you to $1,825 a year. So the question becomes, is $1,800 a year enough to make a difference when it comes to saving for a home? And on the surface level, the answer is no. And even if we took that and factored in the opportunity cost of saving that money and instead investing it, that will help you a lot. And over time, if you're investing $1,800 a year, year after year after year, compound interest will help and you will get a nice little nest egg. But is that alone going to be enough to really move the needle? I would say no. And the truth is that the only way I was able to save up enough money to have a down payment and get this place was to stay living at home, not entirely for free, but certainly not paying $2,000 a month, staying at my mom's place until I was 26 and ready to move into this place. I also never really made much more than minimum wage until the year I actually moved in here, so it's not like I was making a tremendous amount of money either. And I fully recognize that that's not an option for everybody, that's not an opportunity that everybody has, and I was very privileged to be in that position. But I also recognize that a lot of my friends and a lot of my peers were in the same situation. They were able to stay living at home well into their 20s, and they had the opportunity to save up pretty much all the money they were making, and a lot of them were actually making way more money than I ever have been. And a lot of them still weren't able to do the thing that I did or to save up the amount of money that I was able to save up. I managed to save $100,000 by age 25 while only earning about $30,000 a year pre-tax. If you want to know more about how exactly I did that, leave me a comment down below and let me know, and maybe I will dive into that deeper in a future video. And so, do I make my coffee at home? Yes. Is making coffee at home the reason I was able to get this place? No, but also kind of yes, so bear with me here and I'll explain what I mean. As we just figured out, saving $5 a day will leave you with about $1,800 a year saved up, which is a lot better than zero, but certainly not enough to really make a big difference when you're trying to get a down payment together to buy a house. So the coffee itself is not the problem. What I believe the problem is the mindset that allows you to make the purchase of the coffee in the first place. What I mean by that is that if going to Starbucks is your favorite thing to do, if you find a lot of value in that, if it makes you really happy and adds a lot of pleasure to your life, I totally think you should do it. I think it's important to treat yourself to things. I think it's important to not be frugal to the point of sucking all of the happiness out of your existence. But it's important to be really intentional and really specific with where you do allow yourself to splurge. So for me, coffee was never it. Coffee's not a big deal to me. I don't drink it every day, and I don't really like Starbucks. Starbucks is something that I would splurge on if I was going to meet a friend for coffee, just the same way that I'm happy to go out and buy dinner at a restaurant if I'm going out for dinner with friends, but otherwise I'm gonna cook my meals at home because hanging out with people is great. I don't find a lot of value in just getting food from somewhere else. But I have my own things. My splurge has always been concert tickets. Within reason, I will spend pretty much any amount on a concert ticket for one of my favorite bands if they're coming to town. I don't really care how much it is, to be honest with you, but that's my one thing. Pick your one or two things that are really important to you and then just let go of the rest, whatever those things are. If it's coffee, go to Starbucks, get your latte and enjoy it. If it's going on one vacation a year, well, that $1,800 can cover that for you too, and that would be a pretty nice vacation. If, like me, you spend like $500 or $600 a year on concert tickets and that brings you a lot of happiness as it does for me, you should totally do it. You shouldn't begrudge yourself everything, but you should be selective. I buy concert tickets, but I don't buy coffee. If I bought coffee, I may not really buy the concert tickets. If I like to travel and go on vacations, the concert tickets may be off the table. If I wanted to eat out every single day, if you're somebody who really actually enjoys getting Uber Eats for dinner every night, not my thing. If it's your thing, that's fine, but you're gonna have to make a cut from somewhere else. And so it's not the coffee, and it's not the vacations, and it's not the eating out, and it's not the bar tabs. The truth is, it's all of it together. It's when you have that kind of like YOLO mindset with one thing, and it very quickly trickles into everything else. Sure, I could make coffee at home, but I'm just gonna go to Starbucks. Well, yeah, I should also pack my lunch at home, but I'm just gonna go grab a sandwich. And before you know it, that $5 a day has become $10 or $20 or $30 a day spent on things which you may not even value. You may just be making the easy choice for convenience. And if convenience is where you find your value, that's fine. But again, it's about sacrifice and it's about balance. And it sucks. Listen, the reason that we're all in this mess, the reason that houses are so expensive and wages are so low and we're all so screwed is from income disparity. It's from capitalism being unhinged and out of control, and it's not our fault. And I fully support the sentiment that you shouldn't have to sacrifice every little joy in life in order to get yourself somewhere decent to live. I think it's a bullshit system, but it's the system that we're stuck with, at least at the moment. And so our options are either to wallow in our misery in our shitty basement apartment, spending all our money on takeaway food and complaining about it, or to do your best within the bullshit system that we're stuck in and try and make strategic moves for yourself while setting yourself up for the kind of lifestyle that you want to have. And just to be perfectly clear here, I am in no way trying to imply that owning real estate is the end-all and be-all. I know there's a lot of people who actually really love renting. They love the flexibility it gives them to just kind of pick up and leave basically whenever they want. They like the idea of not being shackled to a mortgage, and I can totally understand that. And if that's you, all the power to you and enjoy your life. All I'm really trying to say is to just think about the lifestyle that you want and try to make strategic moves. Try and move those chess pieces in a way that benefits the lifestyle you want to build for yourself, whatever that looks like, because there's no right or wrong answer. It's just about to not sabotage yourself, and it's about splurging, but splurging selectively and intentionally. Anyways, that's just my 2 cents. That's just me as a 28-year-old homeowner who's done the thing and checked the box. And honestly, at the end of the day, a house is just a house. It's just somewhere to sleep and cook and store your shit. But I would love to know your thoughts. I would love to know what your thoughts are on whether or not every little dollar really does count when it comes to saving for something big. Is it worth sacrificing the small things to get the big things? Is it worth letting go of the big dreams to have your little day-to-day pleasures? Let me know in the comment section below what you think. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. I'm pretty new here to YouTube, and every like that I get helps me out tremendously to know that you're enjoying the videos I'm making and that I should make more just like them. If you didn't like it, I guess you can give it a thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. Also, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I make videos about minimalism, personal finance, investing, self-development, yada, 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 all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.